Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Going through menopause can be a challenging time in a woman's life, and it's important that they have the support they need, but often the men in their life can't relate to what they're experiencing. So here to help change that, we welcome the author of The Menopausal Marine, Hot Flashes, Night Sweats, and Hormone Therapies, What Every Woman Needs to Know About Menopause, Eric Rittmeyer. Thanks for joining us, Eric.
Hannah, thank you for having me. Long time no see.
So, okay, why in the world did you decide to write a book about menopause? Question number one, right?
Fair question, the elephant in the room, right? I'm the mental toughness and critical thinking guy. I became obsessed with the topic, Hannah. The medical facility I was working with, I just saw woman after woman that was coming in with all the same exact symptoms: hot flashes, night sweats, brain fog, insomnia. I tried to research menopause, couldn't find anything on it, so I was like, hey, why not write a book on it? So I totally immersed myself in the topic. Every study, every ounce of literature, bumping elbows with patients, I decided to write a book about what women need to understand about menopause and how to get through it.
Yes, you kind of put those two things together, drawing from the personal experiences of women that you spoke with, and then the big gap in medical literature and resources that we don't know that much about it still. And I think even women going to their doctors and asking questions, they're not always necessarily getting those answers that they're seeking.
They're sure not, Hannah. And here's the craziest thing. I mean, every single woman will go through menopause at some point. There should be significant resources available to them. This can be a very scary time. Their bodies are changing. There's things going on they can't understand. A lot of the doctors are telling them to just stop eating chocolate chip cookies and don't drink wine. And it can get very scary. It's disruptive to life. And the crazy thing about it is it's very treatable. It's very correctable, but it's about educating. It's about arming women with the information they need so they can push back on their doctors.
And let's talk about the men in these women's lives. How can they best offer their support when their loved ones are going through menopause?
Yeah, such an important point, Hannah. And I put a chapter in my book. It's chapter 4 in my book. It's a very short chapter because men, we don't have too much brain capacity, so we have to keep it short. But for guys, the simplest way to put it, just we need to support the ladies in our lives, whether it be our wives, our moms, our sisters, our aunts. We need the support. When women go through this, a lot of times they're afraid. They don't know what's going on. They're not getting the information they're looking for. Their doctors are just telling them they have to push through it. So for the men in their lives, it's very important for us that we support them. We help them to understand, I'm here for you. I'm going to educate myself on this. I will be by your side, but it all starts with unconditional support from men.
Yeah, just that first step of listening goes a long way. I want to ask you about this concept of male menopause because our hormones change as we age. That's a normal thing for everybody, but is there anything to the concept of menopause? Is it comparable at all?
This drives me a little crazy, Hannah, when I hear it, because I'm like, man, like guys don't, when we lose testosterone as we age, it's very gradual. So as we start to enter into this age of getting older and losing testosterone, it's very gradual. For women, it's extremely abrupt. When you go through and you lose your period at 51 is the average age for that. Menopause is defined as 12 consecutive months of no period. When a woman goes through this and she loses ovarian function, it's pretty abrupt, and it happens, and it wreaks havoc on your life. For men, we put on some extra body fat, we lose some muscle mass, we lack some energy. So to compare the two, for me, it's a little upsetting because it takes attention away from the ladies, and there needs to be significant amounts of attention specifically for women going through this.
I love that. I'm just so encouraged to hear. You're on the record. You're letting the guys know. Stop complaining. The ladies have it tougher. Okay, can you tell us some common misconceptions that you've uncovered about menopause and some of the things that are actually happening?
Yeah, I think one of the main things, Hannah, is just that there are so many misconceptions about treatments that are available, hormone replacement therapies. There were these links that a lot of studies, there's been a lot of stuff. One of the main ones was the Women's Health Initiative back in 2002. It put out this very false saying that if you do hormone replacement therapies, you increase your risk of breast cancer. There was a very minor increased risk in that. But when you look at the protection hormone replacement therapies have as far as your brain, your heart, your bones, there's significant studies that have shown that there's protection there. So I think the main misconception are the links that they say that hormone replacement therapies are not good, and that's just not accurate. It's something that women should educate themselves on and have the conversations with their providers.
And what about kind of watching maybe your mother experience it? A lot of us, that's our closest personal contact of experiencing menopause secondhand. Is my mom's experience going to be that similar to mine, or do I have my own journey to go on?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. We get it all the time, Hannah. There's some studies that show that there can be a link between familial. So if your mom went through it, you might go through it. The main thing would be the age normally, the age she went through it. Again, 51's average age for menopause, 43's average age for what's referred to as perimenopause. That's where a lot of the vasomotor symptoms start, hot flashes, night sweats. But just because your mom went through it at whatever age doesn't mean that you're absolutely going to. The second component to that is there are now treatments that are available, especially hormone replacement therapies. When our moms, when our grandparents went through menopause, all these treatments weren't available, number one. Number two, it wasn't as okay to talk about these things. A lot of women back then, as ladies, you guys get the job done, right? It doesn't matter, you just get it done. So there's no true link between your mom and you, but there is a pretty good idea of expecting what age you'll go through it.
Well, I love that you're talking about it. Thank you for bringing some of this information to us today. It was great chatting with you.
Hannah, thank you for having me.
Of course, and we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. There is the book again, The Menopausal Marine. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.